So I've learned that if you can give a line on that paper life in any way, any shape or form, whether it be gritty, dirty, crooked, if you can give it life in whatever way you find in your story, if you can find a way to give it life, give it life, and don't worry so much about having the super crispiest, cleanest line of your own heroic comic book artist, because I've beat myself to death trying to draw a super clean line now for 20 years, and I really don't have that awesome of a talent for clean lines. So if I ever want something like a comic book cover done or something like that, I may one day hire someone to give me that kind of effect on my art. But for me, I don't have that ability. First of all, I do wear glasses just to see what I'm drawing now. So you can imagine I can't see very well to make really, really sharp lines. And I've tried things digitally on the computer, and it just takes too much time. And I've just kind of weighed out the differences and said, you know what? If I can't, then maybe that's just the way I'm meant to draw. The good Lord didn't give me hands to make that kind of stuff, so maybe it's for a reason. And I'm just going to keep on keeping on drawing with what I know, how I know. And just keep on creating worlds. And if people are going to pick it apart because my lines aren't super clean, well, then I think they've got the wrong idea. Because I'm going to focus on getting you into my world more than I am going to focus on trying to draw the crispest line and getting all uptight about it. Because I found that anytime you can draw and relax, you usually end up drawing better. Your work, it shows in your work, man. Every time it shows up. The fundamental stuff, once you get past a lot of the fundamental stuff, like when to draw a bold line, when to draw a thin line, stuff like that, where to throw your pools of shadows, where to throw the deepest and hardest contrasts, and what does the story call for. There's a lot of stories I've drawn didn't call for that kind of stuff. They just called for simplistic backgrounds that didn't need a lot of detail or textures, and I'd do them, and I didn't feel like I'd done anything wrong. I didn't feel like it's just that you notice anytime you try and make the bolder lines to the front, because that's the closest thing to you, and as things proceed into the background, when you proceed forward into it, the thinner lines here, it fades you into what's right here. And then, like the shadows, when they're placed just right, the pools of shadows, the darkest spots, your eye is either going to be led to something, like here with this. I wanted your eye to look straight into this motor capacity, this motor area with all these capacitors and all this, raw power hidden in this little thing. And then and then gradually kind of see where they're headed. Which the most important thing in this panel I wanted was you to just see this contraption that he's basically made, built, found, stolen. I don't know how he ended up with it, but I'll go into that someday when I'm telling the story, if it becomes important. But that's what I wanted to convey, is this spot here. So I made a lot of heavy blacks in here, and then the dark on the wheels. As I continue inking it, I'll try and keep that in mind, so I don't go throwing heavy lines over here and a bunch of black over here. I may throw some little divot lines in there just every once in a while, just to kind of make it look like it's got some texture on it, but I'm not going to heavy texturize it like I did in some of my other stuff. My other pages, like with the robot, I did a lot of heavy textures for him in the beginning of the story, because he was very gritty, dirty, and stuff, so I wanted you to get an idea how filthy he was. So that's the way I drew it. And also, I don't work on a very orthodox way. Like you see me going over it with this pen. This is the super fine pen. I'll use this over the whole drawing just to kind of get a blueprint in my mind of where the ink's laying on the paper. And then I'll go back and grab a thicker pen, like the fine pen, or sometimes I'll go to this. And then after I get all that kind of idea where the thicker lines are, and kind of get the life of the drawing feeling out, where trying to give the sense of movement, then I'll go with this thickest one, which is the medium. I think it's like a 0.8 millimeter or something. I'll take it and I'll go over and do these like on the edges of this tire, give it that chunky feeling, that chipped up feeling, chunk, sloppy looking stuff, just to kind of pop it out a little bit. And then all this stuff here, I'm gonna finish inking this. I don't know if I'll do it on camera, but I'll finish inking this, and this will all be really bold right up here in this area, right up in here, and it'll kind of like recede into the background and get thinner. Like these letters, I'll probably make them a little bolder, and maybe throw some casted shadows under them and make them pop off the page, like you think, wow, flying. It's going over debris and junk and old robots and just hoses laying everywhere and contraptions that are just laying and thrown to the side, and where they've fallen, randomly out of this ship that drops them out of the sky. And then, but anyway, I would just kind of throw that on there until I get it, until I feel satisfied. And then, of course, I'll have some guy on the internet say, oh, you messed up here, messed up there, and I'll go back and try and fix it. And my wife will help me with grammar, so that whenever my characters are talking, they don't sound like they're babbling like morons. She's really good at knowing what someone, when they're in natural speaking, how they would act and say things. She's really good at that. So, plus she's one of those women that, thank God I met her. She's the one. She'll tell you she'll honestly tell me. She doesn't play games where, like, if you take your stuff to your mom and you say, Mom, look at this drawing I did, your mom is always going to say, oh, it looks great, but I've asked my wife not to do that to me. If she sees a problem, don't sugarcoat. Tell me that it looks stupid. Tell me that it's, there's a problem with this or that. And she does. She tells me straight off. She'll say, hey, straight off the pot, right off from the giddy up, she'll say, I can't see what's going on here. Everything's blending together, like my inking is messed up. And I'll say, okay, that means I gotta make something pop forward. And I'll try and find a way with my inking to bring out something. And, yeah, you'll see some of my pages. When you look, you'll see some of my pages that are just lots of blacks. It's because I kept playing with it until it became a lot of blacks, just to pop one thing out. Throwing white on top of black just to make it pop. Things like that. The techniques I've picked up. But yeah, I'm not so sure how long I'll be on doing this, but some people are interested in watching other people draw. I know I am. When I'm on the internet, sometimes I'll get kind of lazy in my drawing, and I will go and say, man, I need some inspiration. and I'll go on the internet, and sure enough, somebody's on there, on YouTube or whatever, and they're drawing something, and I'm like, man, I want to draw now, So it's a big help to me. So maybe someone will see me doing it, and they'll dig it too, and they'll get in the mood to draw, and they'll create something great. And for all the guys that are new to drawing comics or drawing at all, when all else fails, draw. Quit thinking, quit trying to figure out, just draw. It'll work out if you do it that way. If you start picking your stuff to pieces and feeling like you're not the best artist in the world and all that crap, don't worry about all that. Just think about, hey, some kid or somebody or some kid or something's gonna see this and they're gonna dig it. They're gonna like it. But also try to keep in mind that when someone's critiquing your stuff and they're telling you, that you need to work on this or that, don't take it so personal. Take it as constructive criticism. And if someone's banging you on your head, telling you, oh, you suck, don't worry about it. That's just their opinion, It's just an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. So they don't mean it's right or wrong. Even if they could be like the best comic book artist in the world. They could be whoever. But if they're just using that as ammunition to hurt you or something, you can usually tell, Me, I try to be constructive with anything I'm telling somebody. And not be that person who just picks everything apart, and saying it's wrong. Kind of go with a lot of what other artists say, is that your enemy sometimes is your best motivator. So whoever comes up telling you your stuff sucks, prove them wrong. Give it a year to prove them wrong. Don't give up on yourself right off the bat. Prove them wrong. Give yourself a year. Say, okay, in a year from now, I'm going to be drawing better, and I'm going to show this guy I don't suck. And then work your ass off. Work really hard. Draw all the time. Every spare moment you got, draw. Until you learn some of those things, because it'll come if you just keep on plugging away at it. And ask for advice, because trying to do this by yourself, it's very difficult. If not, sometimes maybe do I use the word? Yes, I will use the word. Sometimes it seems impossible. I would think impossible to learn to draw comics by yourself. It's very difficult. I'm not even. Look at my stuff. I'm not even. Look how many years I've been doing it. I still ain't that good. So it's. I can't even hold a candle to any of the other guys like Jim Lee and those guys. I've been drawing as long as they have, but I don't have the abilities they do. But like I said, I just keep on plugging away. I'm gonna keep on drawing until something breaks. Something goes. And if it don't ever, then what have I wasted? I became a better artist regardless. So when all else fails, just draw. Draw. Quit trying